When India gained independence in 1947, it inherited more than freedom. It inherited poverty, famine, and an economy drained by 2 centuries of colonial exploitation. At the time, India contributed less than 3% to the world's GDP, compared to over 23% in the early 18th century under the Mughal Empire. The British Empire had turned one of the world's richest civilizations into an agrarian economy dependent on imported goods and limited industrial capacity. The newly independent nation under Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru chose a path of planned economic development. Inspired by socialist models, India implemented 5-year plans, emphasizing heavy industry, state ownership, and self-sufficiency. The goal was to avoid dependence on foreign powers. But this system also created bureaucracy and inefficiency. Known as the License Raj, it required countless permits and government approvals for even basic business activity. For decades, India's economy grew slowly, often called the Hindu rate of growth, averaging just 3.5% annually. Agriculture dominated, industries were overregulated, and foreign investment was nearly absent. Despite the creation of institutions like the Indian Institutes of Technology and public sector giants, such as Steel Authority of India and Bharat Heavy Electricals, productivity lagged behind global standards. By the late 1980s, India faced a severe balance of payments crisis. Foreign reserves dropped to less than $2 billion, enough for only 2 weeks of imports. Inflation soared, and the country was on the brink of economic collapse. In 1991, the government led by Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh made a historic decision to liberalize the Indian economy. The reforms of 1991 transformed India's economic destiny. Import restrictions were lifted, the rupee was devalued, and the infamous License Raj began to dismantle. Private enterprises gained freedom. Foreign direct investment was encouraged, and sectors like IT, telecommunications, and finance opened to global competition. This was India's economic turning point, the moment it embraced globalization. The results were profound. GDP growth accelerated from 3% to over 6% through the 1990s and early 2000s. The rise of companies like Infosys, Wipro, and Tata Consultancy Services marked India's emergence as a global technology hub. Millions of young engineers and entrepreneurs drove innovation and built what would become the backbone of the digital economy. Meanwhile, India's middle class expanded rapidly. Consumerism surged, and urbanization reshaped cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Mumbai into centers of global commerce. Yet, challenges persisted. Income inequality, rural poverty, and underdeveloped infrastructure continued to hold back inclusive growth. In the 2010s, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India launched a new phase of economic modernization. Initiatives like Make in India, Digital India, and Startup India aimed to strengthen manufacturing, expand internet access, and foster entrepreneurship. The goods and services tax unified the country's fragmented market, while digital payment systems like UPI revolutionized financial transactions, making India a global leader in fintech innovation. Today, India stands as the world's 5th largest economy, surpassing the United Kingdom, its former colonial ruler. With GDP exceeding $4 trillion in purchasing power terms and one of the fastest-growing populations of skilled workers, the country is positioning itself as a future superpower. Its economy now influences global energy markets, technology supply chains, and even space exploration. But the journey is far from complete. India still faces deep structural challenges. Unemployment, environmental degradation, and regional disparities remain persistent issues. The task ahead is balancing rapid industrial growth with social equity and sustainability. Yet the transformation over the past 75 years is nothing short of remarkable. From famine to food security, from isolation to globalization, and from colonial exploitation to digital innovation, India's rise is one of the greatest economic transformations in modern history. It's a story not just of numbers and reforms, but of resilience, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of progress by more than 1 billion people. From colony to superpower, The Indian economy stands as living proof that even centuries of exploitation cannot extinguish the will of a nation determined to rise.